Lost in the rain. The cold rain lashes my face. If I'd known it was going to be this bad, I never would have volunteered when I saw the lines of scouring flashlights. Alas, here I am. They seemed to come from nowhere. It was still, and then there was a flash of lightning, and I was looking at a party of people, striding through the long grass. Seemed only right to help search. "How much longer are we going to be out here?" I called through the torrent. I pulled the strings on my hoodie closed, tightening it around my rapidly numbing face. Before the woman next to me could answer, I hear my name called. Josh Winters. It's far off to the left, near inaudible over the weather. I stand, confused, partly because I never told anyone my name, partly because the person who called it is looking at the ground. Our group gathers around a shivering form laying naked like a fawn. It shakes in the overgrown rough, stirs, looks up at me. I gaze into its frightened eyes. My eyes. The creature passes out. "Get him inside," says the man who found him, as he joins another in taking the stranger under the arms. They put various blankets on him and drag the man to a tent that's being rapidly erected. I manage to sneak my way in, last inside before it's sealed away from the elements and from overcrowding. Half a dozen are in there with me, including Josh Winters. The tent is calm, despite the onslaught that batters at the thin canvas walls. That, paired with the body resting on the mat, lends to a wartime feel. He lays, swaddled in blankets, shivering and pale, shallow breaths lifting his chest. His blue fingers suggest a worrisome amount of time spent unconscious and bare to the cold. Despite the state of him, it's clear. He is me. From the shock of brown hair to the birthmark over his groin, the man I stand over is an exact replica of myself. I retreat further into my hood, sweating despite the cold. "More heat," orders the man from earlier, a chain forming behind him. Hot packs and blankets move up the line, towards the injured man. I would admire the efficiency and organisation, were it not for more pressing issues. We wait there for a good 10 minutes. At last, he begins to cease his trembling. The man who found him was either the leader of this little band, or he's taken on that role. "We've radioed Group 2, lad. They're bringing a rain to drive you out of here. Just try to keep warm," he says in a fatherly tone. He's older than his patient, balding, with a short white beard. He hands my other self a steaming cup, tea or soup, or something to that effect. "My name's Jacob. Can you tell me what happened, lad? You've been gone for 3 days. Did someone mug you, kidnap you?" He nods at the last. "Who? Do you know who did this?" The man shakes his head and tries for some words. He manages a dry breath, but nothing more. He goes in for a sip before trying again, his voice rasp. The last time I remember sounding like that was after I'd had my tonsils removed. They took me, men in suits." He's shaking again, though the cold seems less to blame now. "They took me to a hospital or something, chained me down and..." He begins to sob. "It's okay, Josh, you're safe now. Take your time," says Jacob. He gives a warm smile. They took my blood and my..." He puts a hand to his spine. Jacob winces. "They used it to grow something. Someone, I think..." He vomits then. Jacob pats him on the back. "Easy now, easy. Just rest. We'll have someone see to that cut," he says, indicating to a wicked gash over the stranger's left pectoral. "Cut it on the wire as I climbed the fence," whispers other Josh by way of explanation. His expression is blank now, reliving the hell that was that place. The hospital, the lab, the place where I was born. Memories return to me in a flash. Where I come from, what I am. I can't go back. I can't let them take me back. Not there. Not to any other lab. Never again. I know where I belong. I know my life. I am Josh. I am me. There are only 3 of us in the tent now. The others left. Whether it was to give us room, or because the story was so off-putting, I don't know. The radio buzz is static. "Ugh, this tent is like a Faraday cage," complains Jacob. He stands to leave and find better reception. "Watch him, will you?" he says, with a nod at myself and a young, pretty blonde girl beside me. It's silent save for the rain. I need to do something now, before it's too late. Before someone sees me. before they pull back my hood and I become a freak show or some government experiment. I walk to the bag containing first aid, pretending to search. Out of heat packs, and we'll need something for his wound. Mind looking around? No rush, I'll keep a watch on him, I tell the young lady in a muffled, put-on voice. The second she zips the flap down, I'm moving. I scan the tent for a way out of this mess as the other Josh, the real Josh, stares blankly into his mug. I lift the back of the tent and see that it's clear. I duck under, exiting and then turning. I see the girl nervously searching for supplies. I see Jacob fruitlessly lifting the radio skywards, as though trying to reach above the storm. There's a ledge over the way, a low slope leading to a stream. It will have to do. I strip off my clothes, glancing back every now and again to ensure the rest of the party is still outside. It's too dark to see me and, thankfully, no lights point my way. I throw my garments down into the ditch and pick up a large rock. No time to think now. I'm not going back. I am not going back. Never again. I re-enter the tent, naked and rain-soaked. Josh turns. Why are you begins Josh, his voice only mildly confused. He cuts off, and his eyes grow wide enough to show white all around them. I'm sorry, is all I say before raising the rock. It's not fast. The first swings are messy and poorly aimed, only doing enough to daze the poor man, but it allows the rest of my hits to land as intended. The lightning and merciless winds serve to cover the sounds of my brutal act. And such ugly sounds they are. I didn't know I was capable of making such noises. Such terrified and pained wails. I'm crying, I'm so sorry, but I'm not going back. Finally, he's still. I drop the rock with a thud onto the grass. A final wet gurgle, and a last lowering of his chest. I look down at this broken reflection of myself, covered in gore with an indent in its head. Bile reaches up, and I turn my face away. No time to think. I drag him by the feet, his ruined scalp trailing blood. I slide us under the tent's rear, his head catching on the wall. Stupidly, this last indignity makes me apologize again. I'm so sorry, I say again, as though poor treatment of his corpse is somehow worse than making him one in the first place. I get to the spot and push him down into the ditch where my abandoned clothes lay strewn. I turn and see Jacob talking on the radio, the girl rummaging in a bag. Fuck, I say, realizing time is short. I look down and see that Josh has barely rolled. Fuck! I wince through gritted teeth. I tentatively reach a leg down the incline and kick at the husk. It falls down further. It will have to do. I rush back to the tent. I slip back under the canvas wall, kicking at the blood on the grass and turning the blankets clean side up. I sit where he sat and sigh a breath of relief before looking down at my unmarked shoulder. I hear steps outside. My head darts around. I see the bloody stone and grab for it. The zip starts up. I wince, biting my tongue hard enough to pierce. I draw the rock down my chest. Red liquid flows from me, joining the last lifeblood of the man I'd slain. Fresh tears sting my eyes as Jacob enters through the tent door. He looks to me, near identical to the image he left. Where's the other lad that was here? He asks. I answer with a shrug, mimicking the traumatized expression he'd witnessed earlier. The girl enters shortly behind, hot packs and first aid in each hand. She passes them to Jacob, who quickly gets to work. Looks like this has opened up again. Don't worry, we'll get you right. It's all gonna be okay now, Josh. I sob then. No acting needed. Hearing my name pushes me over the edge, and I embrace the kind man opposite me. It is gonna be alright. I'm sure it is. It's over. I'm safe. Sorry about, I say, wiping my nose and waving to the blood I've leaked on him. Oh, don't worry. Let's get you cleaned up. Group 2 will be here soon with transport. Nothing to fret on now, he says, cleaning and suturing the fresh wound. It's calm. The storm is dying down and evidence of the time I'd spent exposed to it is starting to fade. I grow less wet, less cold, less frightened. Suddenly the radio flickers. Found. A little beaten up. Safe. comes a distorted voice, broken up by interference. What was that? Asked Jacob. Group 2. Is that you? Group 3. Josh. Safe. It sounds again. You asking if we have Josh? Aye, he's here. He's okay, replies the gruff man with a smile. The radio sounds again. My heart sinks. Jacob looks into my eyes, and I look into his. This is Group 3. We found him. He's safe. Repeat. We found Josh Winters.